What's up, guys? Let's see if the stream is rolling. My phone's about to die. That was a coyote. Yeah, it looks good on my end. Sweet. All right. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We got a long weekend. In case you didn't know, market's closed tomorrow. Just now finding out now. Sorry I ruined your evening. So the market will not be opening up in 13 hours. No. Market is closed tomorrow. Do not forget. Let me go send out the link in Discord. Let everyone know I'm live. Someone said it's not coming up on YouTube. What? Where's my YouTube manager live? Let me see. Boy, you lying. That's me on YouTube. Right there. Look. Oh, there's look. Someone said it's not. There's Liv. YouTube. Liv's on the YouTube channel. Bam. What's up, Liv? Everything's sounding good. There's probably a there's a delay difference between YouTube is actually very, very close to the actual time of me saying something on live. X is delayed by over like 15 seconds. So yeah, they're not gonna sync up. They will be 15 seconds completely off from each other, I believe. So, all right, just sent that link out in Discord. Let everyone know I am live. For the ones that are already here, appreciate you. 300 people. If you could please like and retweet the stream if you're on X, because it is recorded. Had some people ask me about that earlier, asking if it was going to be recorded because they were not going to be able to make it live. So the more people that like and retweet it on X makes it easier to find later on. So if you could please show some like, support, engagement, etc. on the live stream post, I would greatly appreciate it. Not going to be on too long tonight. Going to do what Liv say. Oh, let's go. Almost at 1.3k subs. Let's go. Almost there. Almost there. If you're here on the live stream on X and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, just go to my X profile. I got my Linktree thing. It pulls up everything. My Discord, my WAP store to purchase, the premium Discord, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, everything. Make sure you go over to the YouTube and Instagram as well. But definitely the YouTube, because when I get moved over to the next house, I will have a full office. None of this, chilling outside by the fire. So I'm not loud because my kids are sleeping inside. Don't have to go sit outside. I'll have a full office away from everybody. So more screens, higher quality setup. So I'm going to do a lot more things on the YouTube channel within a few months. What's up, B Trades? I see B Trades is over on the YouTube channel right now. Let's go. We have 400 people here on X on the live stream. So same three. Going to start with, as always, SPY, QQ, IWM. I have not looked at these charts yet whatsoever. So we're going to do this together. And then a few others I'm going to cover briefly after that. Going to look at Tesla, potentially, and look at NVIDIA as well. Going to show the chart update for PayPal, and then Cruise Line, CCL, NCLH. So, all right. let's go ahead and jump into it. SPY did absolutely nothing on the last session. I was in credit spreads the entire day and put credit spreads, and it was beautiful. I think I've only done put credit spreads for the last 10 days trading SPY, and we are 13 for 13 on the credit spread account. We have not lost yet since February 3rd when I started the account, I believe, which is a Monday, up about $5,000 in profit on just that account solely doing credit spreads because me and Knots are in a challenge. If you do not know this, I'm going to kick that dude's ass in this challenge. See who has the larger account at the end of the year. He's trying to take his to $1 million, so we'll see how it goes. So SPY is currently showing in a squeeze on the daily. So that is first thing I would like to go look at real quick. I can get rid of all of this. So obviously SPY is at resistance. All right, see the top two things you got to know here on SPY. First of all, let's look at the squeeze. Squeeze is going to the downside as of right now. MACD is still bullish. Okay, RSI is still bullish as well. It's not, it's nothing crazy, but it is above 50. There is a little bearish kind of divergence though. So if you notice, look at SPY from this day to this day, right? See how price action hasn't gone anywhere from here to here. We're just back to where we started. Look at the RSI. The RSI has actually decreased, right? So, and that's kind of the only thing that hasn't is the MACD. The histogram did, but not the crossover with the lines there. But the squeeze indicator, as of right now, is also going to the downside, and it's showing that there is some compression right here, which is a squeeze, which means consolidation leads to expansion. So it's looking like potential downside, but I will say this looks kind of like an ascending triangle, which is a bullish chart pattern. So, and you can draw your trend line right there perfectly. So you got 3 points of contact, usually third time's the charm. That's where we're going to get the next big move off of that, and beautiful reaction there on SPY right off this previous day level. You'll see this is an SR flip spot on SPY. Beautiful long area right across here, and now we are at another SR flip spot currently right now, right up here. So every time it hits this area from the underside, right, we're getting big rejections, big moves to the downside. Look at that straight gap down from this candle down to this candle was a straight gap. Retested again, same thing. Straight gap was even more significant to the downside, right? So now, I mean, that's what we would call an abandoned baby. Believe it or not, that candlestick on SPY's daily is an abandoned baby. A small little doji at the top right here. What I can kind of foresee that leading up to is a red candle. So if SPY rejects this supply area up here, right, this zone, and gets a red candle to the downside, right, a matching red candle over here on the right side with this big green candle on the left, and then that red doji in the middle, those three candles combined are something called an evening star, which is a bearish candle reversal that you want to see at the top of an uptrend to get a nice move back down, which would probably end up breaking said trend line right here on SPY and sending that lower if that does print a red candle and form an evening star. So SPY just needs to, probably break and hold above 611, honestly, and just have the bulls trend it by that time and continue to make new all-time highs by that point. But I mean, risk to reward as of right now, it's kind of showing short to the downside. So for SPY, I would say 607 area. 607 to like 606.60. the high on this day? 606.45, 606.60. So just say 606, 60, 50 area. Drop it down here on the hourly. Yeah. It'd be this zone essentially right across right there. So 605.60 to 605.50. That's dollar area right there. If it loses that, it's going to come down and touch that trend line. But on the daily, it would form that evening star, and I think it would break that and then come back down here to this area. SPY would need to, let me make sure I got this on. There we go. SPY would need to kind of do that, the break and base over it, and then have the bulls do the SR flip there and just continue to make new all-time highs after that. So you'll see the reaction over here. This is what I was talking about. Big reactions happen off this area. So we're kind of just consolidating up here in it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But the daily does show a squeeze. It's currently moving to the downside, but obviously the overall bigger picture is still showing a trend is upside. So definitely something to watch here on SPY. I need to get a screenshot of this one. So 611 and watch that 605.50 to 606.60 here on the larger time frame. 605.50 essentially would be last support before it goes down the trend line and goes lower. Qs, geez, let's look at my chart on Qs. Also in a daily squeeze. So Qs, okay, different story. Look at the RSI on Qs. Okay. So it's actually it's flat. From there, that same day on SPY to here, it's flat, but it's also climbing to the upside. While the MACD is still positive and green, and then the squeeze it's sideways. I would say it doesn't really seem bullish, doesn't really seem too bearish on the histogram. So, and again, MACD is still pointing and moving to the upside here. So Qs looks a little bit better than SPY. What's the previous all-time high over there? 539.15. Yeah, 539. Oh, I marked that to the penny on accident. Look at that. Same thing with SPY. You got the trend line here. It almost touched the trend line. If you do the base of the candle, no, it doesn't even get that. I like doing the wicks. I like making it like right on there. Big spot on Qs right here, 526. And right there, what's the bottom of that one? 534.13, 533.82, 533.79. So it's like 534. Like right here. So I would watch 539 and 534 on Qs. A break and base above or below one of those two, I think would start to set the tone. The daily on Qs. So look at the daily on Qs. Look how strong that is. Look, just 3-barred it straight up, all green, right? Looking fantastic. SPY did not close that strong green candle up there. It actually closed red. So a little bit of difference there on SPY and Qs. So watch that though, 539.15, and then the 534 area. IWM is going to be a completely different chart. Yeah, IWM. Look at this. IWM hasn't gone anywhere. It is just straight consolidation here. It can't get above this 230 to 231. Just mark 230 to 231 right there. Yeah, I mean, once it gets above that, I mean, then it's off. But it is just not really doing much. You got a spot here. It's 225. That was almost at the penny. That's where the intra like SR flip spot is. So if you notice when it's below it, look at the candle reactions that happen here, right? Until it gets, some kind of gap above it, pushes up to that zone, and then what happens? Straight back down. What happened again? They bought it back up, went straight back up. Look at the kind of candle reactions right here. So that 225, I mean, it means something on IWM. So it's at 226. So if it loses that 225 and that trend line, not looking too hot, looking like a move down to closer to 222. But if it holds the trend line in 225, it's going to go back up and retest that 230 area. It wouldn't be until, it gets that break-in base above that 231 until I would really start to think that it's going to go higher. So, I mean, just watch 225 on IWM. If it loses it and gets a daily close underneath it, I mean, no bueno. If they continue to hold and close above 225, I would just be looking for potential, dip buy entries to trend it back up to 230 and then freaking sell that thing short because they're smacking it every single time it gets up there. So it's looking bearish though, okay, on MACD and TTM squeeze right now, showing a little bit of weakness here. So it's about to flip red, so it's just walking, staircasing down, which is what you want to see if you're bearish. MACD is also red at the same time. Okay. RSI is right under 50. So it's not looking good. So setup on the daily looks a little bit more bearish on IWM. So SPY was like iffy, Qs was good, IWM was like down. So oh, what's up, Jay? What's up, Jay? Appreciate you. Brando, my man. Brando's been with me since the beginning, way before all this crazy stuff started going on. So I guess it's already on here. We'll go ahead and talk about this. NCLH, which is Norwegian Cruise Line, and CCL. So if you zoom out here on the daily, go to the weekly even right here, right? So you can draw that trend line right there. Struggles a little bit around 27. I'm personally still looking for a move up to 30. But daily just had a nice trend line tap there for the fourth or fifth time, but it closed a daily green hammer candle. So I really like that for a move back up to $27. I don't believe, no, it's not in a squeeze on any time frame. Big resistance here, so it needs to break above that. Target's going to be, that $27 area, and then here would be target number 2. Target number 3 is going to be obviously previous month high. So the 9 and 21 EMA on the daily, it is directly above this candle. So it closed at 26.23 after the high of the day was 26.25. So it's a green hammer candle directly to the daily 921 EMA. So if it can now, get a break in kind of base over top of this, then look to take this name higher. So looking for potential upside on CCL. And then, like I said, Norwegian, CLH. Same kind of thing, more of in a channel. So it is higher high, higher low, higher high, just made a higher low. That trend line, not so much a hammer candle similar to CCL, but nevertheless, it did hold this previous day low down here near 26 bucks. So kind of lagging behind a little bit, but if it can clear around, it's funny, clear around 27, which you go to CCL. And that's where like kind of first target is upside. So don't get them confused. They're very similar. So if it can get a break in base above those daily EMAs, and then I'll get the dip buy here when it does the SR flip, when it does the break in base above the EMAs, and then push that thing up higher. So looking for maybe just a sympathy play. I really like obviously the CCL chart a little bit better. But sympathy potentially on Norwegian, their contracts, their options move really good, similar to CCL. There's also RCL, Royal Caribbean. I don't touch that thing with a 10-foot pole. I do not like the way their options chain moves with those contracts. So just NCLH as a sympathy, usually when I trade CCL. Here we'll do Tesla next. Update on PayPal. So currently in $78 calls. Took them off this zone down here. Had an inverted hammer at the low. The main thing though was the 4-hour and 1-hour channel. So trend line right here. There was a potential like falling wedge, and then obviously it's not a coincidence. Big green candle to break through that. So I rode that wave up here. I'm expecting a rejection. I took $78 calls and I took them in the money. I'm expecting a rejection here and a pullback down to near the $77 area, which I would then be a buyer. And then my next target above that would be 80. And then there is a huge gap fill on the daily, obviously, up here. So there's the 1-hour trend line break right here. And then I'll show everyone kind of recap. So I took calls here. You'll see when I pop this up, 15-minute squeeze moving to the upside that morning on PayPal, right there on the histogram, right there in the middle, right? So I took calls here based on the 15-minute squeeze, and that's what I needed to break in base right here, that big green candle right here breaking up. When it closed above that trend line, took the calls, and then it got a pop-up new high day, consolidated, but it did the SR flip, right? It never came back down and closed underneath my level. That's what I like to see. And then look what happened. Instant big reaction. That's how I know that level is important here on PayPal. It's the reason why I'm taking the trade, right? When the target $78, they went in the money. So could potentially pull back down and test that level again. Still in $78 call runners, and if it does pull back down here, I'm going to buy an extra week out on different contracts. I'm going to get the $80 most likely. So last two, Tesla. All right, so go to Tesla. Go to the daily. So you got big support on Tesla down right here. So I bought shares on Tesla, 325. I started some. I do think Tesla goes lower personally. But here's the two scenarios here on Tesla. So Tesla just put a hanging man at the daily 9 EMA. I would love for Tesla to reject this and not go anywhere near 380 again. I would love for this to reject and come straight back down. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. I think it's going to make more sense for Tesla to actually pop up a little bit higher to the 21, which is going to line up with that key level around 376 to 380. I'm expecting a big rejection on Tesla at that time. I would look to go short personally, and then I want to take that thing straight back down to 330, 325, and then I do think Tesla would then lose that zone and go down to 300, potentially sub 300, maybe at some other time. But that would be target downside if that plays out. The only way I keep my bullish sentiment on Tesla is if I see a break in base above that 376 to 380. Then I think when that happens, obviously 400 cycle level, and then 415 and 420.69, obviously, would be targets upside. That's the only way I would end up being like, yeah, okay, Tesla's looking, the bearish thesis is completely invalidated. You can't even say nothing against it. Like, it's going to end up going higher now. That's what I would have to see. But I personally would like to see more downside on Tesla and short the pop if it does get up there. So, and last but not least, I'm checking NVIDIA here. So NVIDIA is above my zone, which is good. Looking very, very strong, which is good. Everything's looking good there. It's in a weekly squeeze. Strong weekly candles back above the zone and back above this level, which I love. Okay, so this is the fun part. Everything says downside on NVIDIA. Everything as of right now says downside on NVIDIA. Look, you got bearish divergence on the RSI. You got a bearish crossover and red histogram on MACD. You also have TTM squeeze moving to the downside. The thing is, when I see something like this happen, what usually happens is this right here is going to move down, okay, just as it is. Similar, and I'm going to show you the perfect reason on why this happens. So you see how the TTM squeeze, the histogram right here, is moving to the downside, and it's showing the red dots, right, for high compression. And MACD is red, crossed over into the downside. Both of those are saying bearish. But what happened with NVIDIA? NVIDIA popped up and went higher, right? Look at the previous one over here to the left. It was going to the downside, and it actually started the squeeze compression on the very last little blue box on the histogram right there, at the very bottom, right? And what was the MACD doing at that time when that happened? MACD was red. It had crossed over bearish and was going to the downside, right? But what happened with NVIDIA? NVIDIA went higher. So what do I think is going to happen? Something very similar. What's going to happen is that this daily squeeze on NVIDIA is going to stay here for another 1 or 2 days, and it's actually not going to flip completely red and fire to the downside. It will go flat and then curl to the upside. When it curls to the upside, the squeeze fires and it sends NVIDIA to a higher high. That's my opinion on what I think is going to happen with NVIDIA. So I think it could, get a rejection because it looks like you can hit those highs with a trend line potentially, right? At those highs right there, it looks like there's a level of, resistance right here. What was that? 142, right? So who's to say that it doesn't pop up here, hit 142, pull back down either to 137, even all the way down here, wouldn't really matter. But then I think that would happen. So in my opinion, that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to pop up a little bit more. It's going to pull back. When it pulls back, that's when the MACD, the TTM squeeze are going to flatten out. It's going to bounce. It's going to start to curl upside back to 142. Then the weekly squeeze fires and it sends NVIDIA to new highs. That is my opinion on NVIDIA. So that's it from me. SPY, QQQ, IWM, PayPal update, Tesla, CCL, NCLH, and NVIDIA right here. So plenty of content covered. My fire is going out right at the perfect time that I'm about to go off of here. So must be out of propane. I gotta switch the tank. So Keith, appreciate you. Let me see. That's who was that? Greg. Thanks, Greg. Let me look at the earnings calendar. Yes, it is this week. Let me pull up what we have for the week overall. Tuesday, we have Baidu, MNMDT, sorry, IQ. After the close, we have ANET, Oxy. That's about it. Wednesday, before the open, have Etsy, ADI, Fiverr, Wingstop, long Wingstop. Not financial advice, just my opinion. I will be longing Wingstop because I love Wingstop. After the close, you have Carvana, Venmo, and Cheesecake Factory. Short. Thursday, big one. Okay, big one. Walmart, Baba, Unity Software, CCJ. After the close, Rivian with Knots. Okay, we're going to be hosting the spaces for that at 4 p.m. XYZ, which you guys know is Square Block. Coca-Cola, Texas Instruments. That's about it. Okay, so that's what we have for this week. Next week is Hymns on the 24th. And then on the 25th, we have, we got a bunch. Next week is actually a lot. Let's go. But NVIDIA is on the 26th after the close. So Wednesday, the 26th, after the close at 4:20 p.m. Eastern. That's a big day. You got NVIDIA, CRM, Snow, Mara, AI, Teladoc. You got all those coming out right at the same time. So it's going to be a fun week this week and next week with these earnings. So be prepared. So, all right. Appreciate you guys. 2,000 people on here. Love and appreciate you. Please like and retweet the stream on X if you haven't. It is recorded. That way people can find it later on. Other than that, that's it for me. I've already posted a few of these charts on my profile. You can go check it out. But I might post a few of these other ones tomorrow. Again, for those that don't know, stock market is closed tomorrow. No trading tomorrow. So market is closed. So peace out, and I'll see you Tuesday morning live in the Discord with the team. If you want to come hang out in the premium Discord, you can go to my profile, go to my WAP store, and there's a free trial all week. Come hang out for free, trade with us on live stream here throughout the entire week, and we have a blast. Love our community over there. So appreciate you guys. B Trades, appreciate you, brother. Allie, appreciate you. Crossbars, appreciate you. Love you guys. So y'all have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the day off tomorrow, and I'll see you guys Tuesday.